What is up, guys? It's Alex Johnson here, the founder and lead analyst at yardsperfantasy.com. Welcome into the 4th episode of the Feed Me Fantasy podcast. Let's eat. Before we get into Joe Mixon, I just want to make you all aware, if you're not already, that this show is available on YouTube. Just search the Feed Me Fantasy podcast on YouTube and hit the subscribe button. You can also find Yards Per Fantasy on YouTube by searching Yards Per Fantasy. Kevin Brumley, aka the Sports Muse, recently joined the Yards Per team as a video analyst and has been pumping out videos on the new channel. Again, search Yards Per Fantasy and smash that subscribe button. Now for what you're really here for. Some Joe Mixon talk. We're going to forget about the holdout risk for now. It's still early in the process and the Bengals have every reason to sign this guy to a long-term deal before the season. I mean, they have no one behind him. Mixon is on the verge of crossing into that elite tier of fantasy running backs. He's a jack-of-all-trades running back that can run, catch, and block at a high level. He struggled to gain consistent production in the first half of 2019, but really got things going in the second half. His situation, not his talent, can be to blame for his early season struggles. Mixon played behind one of the league's worst offensive lines, a line that gave him run-blocking efficiency that was outside the top 60 running backs. And to no surprise, the Bengals' offense was terrible. They were bottom of the league with a negative 7.46 game script, meaning they faced an average deficit of more than a touchdown at any point in any given game last season. That's actually the second worst game script in the player profiler database going back to 2017. Mixon didn't even score a rushing touchdown until Week 11. Week 11! But things were different in the second half. Mixon had 100 yards and or 1 touchdown in 6 of 8 games down the stretch, with RB1 performances in 5 of those games after the Week 9 bye. He averaged 27 touches a game over the final 4 weeks. That's volume that is reserved for only the top running backs in the game, like McCaffrey, Barkley, Derrick Henry, and Ezekiel Elliott. Let's go through those 4 weeks. Week 14, he had 23 carries, 146 yards, and a touchdown. Week 15, it was 25 carries for 136. Week 16 was 21 carries for 50 yards. And Week 17 was 26 carries for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's elite volume. And sure, it's a small sample size, but the NFL is a small sample league. Mixon wound up finishing the season fifth in carries and had a 77.1% opportunity share, which was number 6 among qualified running backs. And he was efficient. Even while playing behind that putrid O-line, Mixon still managed some impressive efficiency numbers. Numbers that indicate, with improvements around him, he is ready to launch into that next level of fantasy production. Mixon was 4th in juke rate at 32.9%, and no one evaded more tackles. And only Derrick Henry had more yards created than Mixon's 576. Just think what wider running lanes would do for him. We're about to find out. While they may not be one of the best units in the league, the Bengals O-line is going to be much better in 2020. The return of 2019 first-round tackle Jonah Williams will do wonders, as will the upgrade at quarterback with Joe Burrow and the return of a healthy A.J. Green. This should propel improvements across all offensive categories, including yards per play and red zone trips. And actually, Mixon should be in for a big touchdown upswing if he sees similar usage in the red zone as he did in 2019. He was number 3 in goal line carries last year and 7th in red zone touches. He received 29 touches, with 25 of them being carries, inside the 10-yard line. If he's more efficient down there, which we can only expect he will be, plus I expect more red zone trips for the Bengals offense, and if he sees a similarly high share of the red zone work, we could easily see a double-digit touchdown total. Okay, so we have efficiency, improved offensive environment, and red zone volume. What about the passing game? Mixon is actually an elite pass catcher. We saw that at Oklahoma. He had an 11.7% 84th percentile final college season target share. But we have yet to see the Bengals have fully unlocked this area of his game. He had a respectable 35 receptions on 45 targets in 2019, but he has potential for so much more. He saw more target volume in 2018, but again the team repeatedly insisted on using Giovanni Bernard as their primary receiving back. But Bernard's role has also declined over time. His targets have dropped in 3 consecutive seasons, and his opportunity share was slashed by 10% from 2018 to 2019. And he's only getting older and less explosive. It was obvious late last year the Bengals finally realized how good Mixon is and that they want to build this offense around him. Eventually, that desire to get him more involved will translate to the passing game. 60 to 70 targets is not out of the question. With his speed at 6'1", 228 pounds, a significant share of the passing downs work will move him into that rare category of bell cow running backs. This is a guy who had back-to-back seasons with more than 1,400 yards from scrimmage before his 24th birthday. He will smash his ADP in 2020, and he's a great buy in Dynasty. We will be drafting him as a top 5 pick a year from now. That's going to be a wrap for today, though. If you're not already, please follow me on Twitter at @A_JohnsonFF and the site at YardsPer. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Also, please be sure to rate and review. It really helps me out a lot and is much appreciated. And don't forget to check out those YouTube channels. Thanks, guys. Cue that music.